Lesson 9-2, we're going to continue with area, and we're going to start with kind of the easier shapes, the ones that we've probably learned for forever. Once we started learning area, these were the first things we learned, was squares and rectangles. So hopefully you can find the area of a rectangle and you can find the area of a square. First off, the area of a rectangle is the product of its base times its altitude, or area is equal to length times width, or area is equal to height times width, which is seen in the figure here. You should all know this, hopefully, and again, we're just going to be building off of this later, but just getting it down in your notes just to remind ourselves. The area of a square is more specific in the fact that basically because the length and the width are equal to each other, we can just say that they're both maybe like the side length. That's what S stands for. And the area of the square is equal to the square of the side lengths, because S times S is equal to S squared, which is the same thing as the area. So getting that written down. I'd like you to just refresh your brains on multiplying using our distributive property. This may seem kind of weird, but once you start going through the homework, I just want to make sure that you're refreshed on what these mean. So again, there's an A out in front, which means that I'm doing A times everything on the inside of the parentheses. So I'm going to do A times B and then A times C. So I should be getting AB plus AC. The next one I want you to try to do, so if you want to pause it, all right, think again that again we have A plus B quantity squared, but we cannot just take the 2 and distribute it so that it's A squared plus B squared is our answer. So take a moment and go through and try to get the answer. Okay, hopefully you refresh yourself on how to do this, but again, it's what does, my favorite phrase for exponents is, what does this 2 mean? Well, the 2 means that I'm taking whatever inside the parentheses and I'm multiplying it by itself twice, which means I'm taking A plus B times A plus B. And so hopefully you think back to your work last year with FOILing, and so you have to do your first terms together, which is your A times A, which is A squared. You do your outside terms, A times B, which is AB. B times A, your inside terms is, again, if we rewrite it, it's still AB, just using that commutative property, and then B times B is B squared. Now simplifying on the inside here, we have like terms. We have 1AB here and 1AB here to then make 2AB there. Sorry, I jumped too far ahead. So hopefully you got that. If not, hopefully this is just a good refresher for you. Doing the same thing with the subtraction, so if you want to pause it now and see what you get for the answer there. And so hopefully again you thought about the same thing as, well, I'm taking it to doing A minus B times A minus B, which is then equal to A squared, my first terms, minus AB, my outside terms, minus AB, my inside terms, plus B squared, because it's a negative times a negative, which equals to a positive. And then my like terms here, I have a minus 1, to then get minus 2AB. Next question I have for you is, I want you to find the area of the square. And so you're probably thinking to yourself, Mr. Huber, this is super easy, because there's a 3 here, which means that there must be that this length here is also 3, so the entire thing is 9. Now, what I want you to do is, but instead, is not just the area of the square, but I'd like you to find the area of the square in inches for me. And so if you could for me, please pause the video, and I want you to see what you come up with, and I'll go over the answer here in just a second. Now hopefully you tried it, and you're probably and part of you, some of you might have been thinking to yourself, okay, well, let's see here, so it's 3 times 3, which is 9, and so then I would multiply 9 times 12 to get 108 inches squared, which I'm sorry to say is the incorrect answer. What you have to think to yourself is, okay, in that case you're converting. And so I'll come back to that here in just a second, but the correct answer would be, and probably the way I want you to do it, is first take 3 feet and convert that into inches for me. So 3 feet times 12 would be equal to 36 inches, which then means I'm doing 36 times 36 would give me 1,296 inches squared. Now you're thinking to yourself, well, why can't I just take 9 and basically multiply it by 12? Which one is the correct answer? Well, obviously, it's 1,296. What you have to think when I was talking about the converting is the fact that, yes, there are 12 inches in a foot, but there's actually 144 square inches in a square foot. And so if you just did 3 times 3, which is 9, that's 9 feet squared. And then you would have to then multiply that by 144 to then get your official answer there. So be careful when you're converting, making sure that you know what your labels are. I know that was kind of the hardest part last year with dimensional analysis. But make sure, again, inches to feet, yes, there are 12 inches in a foot, but there are 144 square inches in a square foot. And last but not least, what I want you to be able to find, if you don't know how many feet are in a mile, please look that up on the internet and have that prepared for our next class period. And probably you don't know this one, so hopefully everyone's able to get on someplace to look it up. But how many acres are there in a square mile? I want you to be able to tell me that answer when we come to class next time. So if you could for me, please make sure that you know the answer to these 2 questions, and we will see you next time.